everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope you are all doing well. Well, today is kind of a gloomy day. It's a little drizzly outside, so I guess we'll kind of all be stuck indoors today. Hopefully there'll be a little bit of a break so you can enjoy some puddle stomping maybe. But it's also, I'm glad it's kind of doing this because my allergies have been going crazy and this is going to kind of calm the pollen down. Thank goodness. Well, today our story was a request from our friend Lily. And the story today is The Snail and the Whale. This is a great adventure book and it's by Julia Donaldson and Alex Scheffler. So sit back and let's go on a fun adventure. The Snail and the Whale. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big gray whale, humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and she sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. So here's her rock, and look at all of those ships. There are the other snails in the flock who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wiggle, sit still, take put." But the tiny sea snail sniffed and sighed, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a ride." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Ride wanted around the world." So you can see the snail rode on the rock, looking for a ride to go on her adventure. This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale, immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." And so the adventure will begin. This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far off lands. Ooh, looks like they're up in the Antarctica. With fiery mountains and golden sands. Ooh, that looks beautiful, being by the ocean. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves where colorful fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam past the whale and the snail on his tail. Look at the big waves and those sharks. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with thunderstorms, with zigzag lightning flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Oh, that would make me a little afraid too. All that thunder and lightning. And she gazed at the sky, the sea and the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all. And she said to the whale, "I feel so small." Do you see her up there on the whale's tail? A little bit of a tongue twister. Whale's tail, tail of a whale. But then came the day the whale lost his way. Uh-oh. There are the speedboats running and racing, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to shore. This is the tide slipping away. Uh-oh. So there's all those speedboats, and then look, the whale went on to shore. They can't be on shore very long, can they? They need the water. Let's see what happens. And this is the whale laying beached in the bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. Uh-oh, the whale got stuck on land. But his friend is going to help him, I think. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail, the teacher turns pale. Look, said the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. These are the children running from school, fetching the firemen, digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. Look at them, they're all running to go get help, and they're helping the whale. Looks like they're digging kind of the sand out for maybe a path back to the ocean. This is the tide coming into the bay, and these are the villagers shouting, hooray! As the whale and the snail traveled safely away. They were able to save the whale. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock. Who said how time flies, and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping and curling silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. So they made it back, and look at all the snails want to go on an adventure now. Oh my goodness, wonder where they're gonna go. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the gray-blue humpback whale. Look at them all up there on the whale's tail. The end. What a wonderful story. Thank you, Lily, for suggesting that. Well, I hope you guys all have a great day. And like I said, hopefully you'll get a chance to go outside a little bit. It's not cold really, it's just kind of rainy. So hopefully you'll get to go outside, maybe stomp in some puddles, and maybe get some mud pies made if mom and dad allow it. You gotta ask first. Have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.